The SMC-2B is the multiband compressor choice among top engineers, producers, studios, and mastering houses around the world. It has a rare combination of tube and transformer amplifiers, valve-driven crossover filters, and opto-cell gain reduction stages. It's known for its incredible high fidelity and soft tube modeled every component to perfection, making our model impossible to distinguish from its hardware counterpart. Listen to our raw drum bus and then with the SMC-2B engaged. Let's see how this compressor works. I want to tackle a few specific things. Keep the low end tight and focused, prevent the high frequencies from becoming too harsh, and then balance these elements with the mid-range for a fully mixed drum sound. We'll start by muting our high and mid bands and sweep the crossover frequency to isolate the kick and lower frequencies. We'll set the attack and release to control the low frequencies. Let's mute this band and focus on the high band. First, let's find the right crossover frequency. We will use a more aggressive ratio with a faster attack and slower release to help control the cymbals. For the mid-band, let's set a slower attack to preserve the transients, but with a fast release to keep the elements out of compression. Let's unmute all of our bands and tweak the output gain for the proper balance. We could use the 3 bands almost like an EQ. We pushed our compression a little too aggressively across all the bands. We will now use the dry-wet knob to parallel mix some of our dry transients back in. Multiband compression is a go-to trick for professional engineers to get a lead vocal to sit properly in the mix. We'll start by getting the low end of the vocal under control to reduce any proximity effect or bass buildup that could lead to a sudden increase in level.
I'll slow the whole world down for you.
Use the crossover low multiplier to extend the range of the crossover point to a higher frequency so we can control the low mids.
All up to you. If you want me to. I want you to stay. Tell me what you want. What you want, tell me what you want.
Next, let's figure out where the top end of the vocal is.
I'll slow the whole world down for you. If you want me to.
We can use this to control sibilance and later use the gain knob on this band to open up the top end of the vocal in a smooth manner.
If you want me to.
Now we are left with the center of the vocal, which is where the majority of the articulation is. Let's get it under control and then blend it back in with the low and high bands.
I'll slow the whole world down for you. If you want me to. I'll make it all up to you. If you want me to. I want you to stay. Tell me what you want, tell me what you want.
Now, listen bypassed, then engaged.
I'll slow the whole world down for you. If you want me to. I'll make it all up to you. If you want me to.
Listen to our stereo guitar bus. I want to get this under control, balance the frequencies, and widen the stereo image to push the guitars to the side. Select mid-side and then unlink the channels. Let's go to the sides and turn those bands off so we hear only the mid. Let's go back to the middle and listen only to the mid-frequency band to focus our sound with the two crossovers and get it under control. Let's bring in the low band and get it more controlled. Now let's add in the high band. Now let's switch to the sides. For the low band, we want to control and reduce the gain on the lowest frequencies. The high and mid bands need just a little tweaking to keep them under control. Using the knob on the top right, we can tilt the balance more toward the sides for an even wider stereo image. Listen bypassed and engaged. Here's a lo-fi mix. The SMC 2B controls our low frequencies, and the three bands allow me to balance the frequencies with more control. Of course, we can also use the SMC 2B across a full mix or when mastering. My settings are carefully selected to preserve transients, balance the three bands, and make this mix sound like an album. Whether working on individual tracks, buses, or your full mix, SMC 2B has you covered. Visit softtube.com and try the Tube-Tech SMC 2B today.